You know, we're getting into the general election here when the Kansas City Star is starting to publish these pieces like this one from Elizabeth Wickstrom that aired, or was published, I should say, in the Kansas City Star on Sunday. An opinion piece headlined, "I'm a Republican Kansas OBGYN. Prasanth Reddy would strip away my patients' rights." Well, here he is, the man who is going up against Sharice Davids in the 3rd District of Kansas. That is those of you in all of Johnson County, parts of Wyandotte, down to Miami as well. So, Dr. Reddy, good morning. What is your response to this headline in the story written in the Kansas City Star?
Hi, Pete. Always great to be with you and your audience. I can tell you, plain and simple, Kansas City Star should be ashamed. They're printing lies that are disproven with their own reporting throughout the campaign. I've never and would never advocate for a national ban on abortion. I would vote against that. But now voters can see what the playbook is. I need everybody listening to go to readyforkansas.com right now and chip in, sign up, volunteer, help us fight. The attacks, as you said, have already begun. They're only going to get more interesting and worse. And they've clearly demonstrated that they will lie directly about me and what our campaign stands for. I mean, Pete, I'm a doc. I've taken care of many, many, many patients. I stand for empathy and trying to help patients. And so some of these lies are very hurtful, and that is not the way politics should be played.
And what about the fact that this issue now is so much more of a state issue? I mean, we know that in Kansas better than anybody based on what happened a couple of years ago. So with the value of them both amendments. So do you think that's also part of the playbook where it's just going to be abortion, abortion, abortion? And if so, how do you change the narrative to try to bring it back to the topics that you think the 3rd District and Johnson County in particular cares about?
Pete, people have so many problems in their day-to-day lives that we can focus on. I mean, just think about, every single family in our district and the challenges they're facing around inflation. Groceries have skyrocketed by over 20%. Rent has surged over 20%. Even electricity has soared almost near 30% higher since the Biden-Harris administration took office. And Sharice has been lockstep with the Biden-Harris failed economic policies really every step of the way. She even had the audacity to vote for the, quote, Inflation Reduction Act, end quote, a bill that's fueled this runaway inflation. And enough is enough. Kansas families can't afford rubber stamp allegiance to the, party bosses for wrong policies. This is a Biden inflation agenda, and Kansas families understand this, and we got to take this country back.
So as you're going around now, and it's been about 2 weeks since you won the primary, and obviously you're hustling. One of the things, of course, in Kansas, it's a quick turn between the primary and the general, and you're meeting with groups and various folks. I'm sure you're hearing that message, but how do you make sure it resonates in maybe parts of the district that just might think, hey, I vote Democrat, this is what I do, and I don't actually look at the people and the issues? How do you turn the tide on that?
Look, at the end of the day, we got to earn votes, and that means hard work and building up a network effect. The best way is word of mouth. We all know that. And, of course, we're going to supplement that with a thoughtful, well-funded marketing campaign, basically focused on making sure the message gets out. That's what we got to do. And we have a better product, right? We just spoke about inflation, but my goodness, there's other issues, of course, that we know that are important to folks, including the border and, making sure the border is secure and making sure that people are safe. We got to support our law enforcement officers and making sure that crime is not encouraged but is discouraged. People that follow the law and try to do the right things, good behavior, that's what we should stand for, not finding excuses for why people do, commit bad behavior. And so I think the key here is exciting folks. We're working very hard to do that. I hope everybody listening is getting fired up. And again, please chip in whatever you can. It's every dollar is going to count to combat these lies and sometimes misleading messages. And then we need folks to go out and volunteer. That's how we're going to win. One person at a time, one home at a time. That's what it's going to take to win this district back, and that's what we're going to do.
Where are we at right now with any debates potentially happening between yourself, Prasanth Reddy, and Sharice Davids?
Well, Pete, in the past, we've talked about this. I told you and your audience, there's an open invitation. I am open to as many debates as we want on each individual, critical, existential policy challenge that we're facing, whether it's economics, securing the border / immigration, education, energy policy, and the list is long. Anytime, any place, any topic. And so we are still waiting to secure those debates. I am ready to sit on in a street corner, happy to take any questions from the people. That's what the people deserve in this district, and the people of this country deserve. And we're happy to win the battle of ideas.
Prasanth Reddy, Dr. Prasanth Reddy on KCMO 95.7 FM, streaming, of course, on the KCMO Talk Radio app as, we get into the general election, of course, with Prasanth Reddy going up against Sharice Davids. And she has continued to win election after election in this district. And when you look at it right now, Dr. Reddy, where are you headed next? What is your next move when you look at the next couple of weeks in particular? Who you're talking to and groups of folks that you're trying to get in front of that maybe traditionally have not considered a Republican, especially here in Johnson County?
Yeah, I'll give you a good example, Pete. It's immigrants. Immigrants that have fled other countries looking for the American dream. The American dream I've been honored to live. That's what I want to protect. I said that at the border down in Yuma, Arizona. If we can't secure the border, we can't secure the American dream. And so that is an important community. Nobody gave those folks anything. I can speak about the Indian American community, for example. They've achieved, tremendous success in this country because of hard work and talent. And that's what this country should stand for. Not, everybody deserves something. Indian Americans represent 1.5% of the country and pay 6% of the taxes. And that's because they're successful. They're good at what they do. But they got there because of merit. They got there because of hard work and talent. And that's what we need to continue to fight for in this country. And that's just one example. It's certainly not just Indian Americans. It's immigrant groups from all over the world that are seeking a better life through hard work.
And that is such an excellent point because Indian Americans, based on income in this country, do the best of any racial group, but it never gets talked about, Dr. Reddy. It's always perceived white versus black when really Indian Americans are the highest earners in America. So I'm glad you're bringing that up, and obviously you're one yourself, and it seems like that may be something that resonates within the community, just getting back to a meritocracy in America.
That is absolutely true, Pete. That is absolutely true. Once the government starts picking winners and losers, that is going to be a recipe for disaster. And so we should let the best folks, let's tap the power of the people. Centralized government, socialism, communism has never worked in the history of the world. And what does work is people being encouraged to live their best lives. Whatever, field, whatever passion that they have, unlock that potential. That is going to be the recipe for success for America. That is what has driven America to the greatness that exists today. And we cannot go away from those core beliefs. If we do, the greatest country on the face of the earth, we're going to lose it. Dr.
Prasanth Reddy, he is running against Sharice Davids coming up here in just 11 short weeks. 3rd District, Kansas side. Thank you, Doc. Appreciate it.
As always, Pete, thank you for your time and thank your audience for their attention. And go out there. Please go to readyforkansas.com. Chip in and volunteer, folks. Let's get this done.
There you go. Prasanth Reddy.